Welcome to Eligible Monster. I'm Benny. That's Dan. This is Natalie. We do a lot of things like talking about various video games and all kinds of discussions and just play things here because we like to do that. Today we're going to talk about World of Warcraft Classic. And are we excited? Do we want to play it or what's it going to be? I have a list in front of me from whatculture.com. World of Warcraft Classic. 5 reasons why it might fail and 5 why it won't. Ha ha ha!
Which
the funny thing is, it's actually the same list. It's just your perspective of the actual.
So which ones are you going to start with? Failing or...
I don't know. Well, let's start.
Succeeding.
So, okay, look, before we go into this real quick, opinions on WoW Classic.
I am going to play it.
I think we're all going to play it. The overall opinion in general, that we're all going to play it to try it.
Yep.
I feel like I'm probably going to play it and might hit cap. I don't think I'll be doing endgame or anything. I think it'll be more the nostalgia trip of just re-leveling through the original zones. That's what I'm looking forward to. And then when I get to 40, I'm going, well, I don't want to do a 40-man Onyxion, right?
You mean 60?
60-man. Yeah, exactly. 60-man Onyxion, right?
No. You level up to 60, and then there are 40-man raids.
Yeah, no, I'm saying level up and then do 60.
Yeah.
I was saying I level up and
we're good.
Phrasing was off. I was saying 40-man raid. I don't want to get to a 40-man raid is what I'm saying.
I don't even think you're going to be able to get to it.
We couldn't get 8 people to show up consistently to Final Fantasy.
You're not even going to be able to level up past... to cap. I think that's what's going to happen to you.
Me, I can see myself getting bored.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it
You're
won't happen.
just going to be like, it takes so long.
If me, Dan, and Kevin end up doing it, I probably will.
Long.
If I end up doing it alone, I'll probably quit.
Yeah.
I can see that happening. Like, if the 3 of us do it and we're having a great time, we're getting on every night, I can see myself doing it to 60. If it just turns into Benny alone trying to go, oh, my hunter I got by ammo. I'm not going back down. I quit.
Yeah, I could see that.
I already was making a hunter because you can make her characters now and lock in names. And I was making a hunter and I'm like, oh no, you got to buy ammo again. We're going to be a warrior.
That's what I mean. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's old school. Like some people might not remember the things that they put in the game as it came out. And yeah, it might turn them off of it.
Right.
I know Ben's one of them for sure.
I think the rating situation, though, honestly, might actually be... I think we're looking at it as 14. Oh, it's hard enough to get an 8-man raid together. How many data centers and servers are there? Because there's only... I want to say like 4 or 5 of each type of server that's coming out. That's at least you can pre-create characters on, which means depending on the number of people that go on there, there's going to be
an abundance.
Exactly. There's going to be a bigger pool of people that might want to do it. You might get a lot of those hardcore nostalgia people that did stop and then they're like, wow, this is great.
I mean, we'll see how the rates. That will be remains to be seen when we get there. Yeah. I just wanted to get that you're going to play it.
Yep.
Are you guaranteeing you're going to make it to 60 and try
Nope.
it?
I didn't. I mean, I never. To be fair, though, when I played it the first time, I never hit cap during Vanilla WoW. But that was because I was a teenager with a very short attention span that would get to level 25 and then go, I'm going to make another character.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick question. Now you're an adult with a very short attention span. So how is that going to change?
I'll get to level 30 and then go, I'm going to make another character.
But yeah, no. So you're kind of the same boat as I am. You're going to play it, but you're not going to know what's going to happen. Are you expecting to play it? I know I said it the other day and you kind of laughed at me.
It's all about the community, man. I was not a big fan of it just because it's such a, well, coming from my experience with it was just like literally a night and it turned me off of it because people are they were expecting you to know exactly what you were doing and there was no learning curve essentially. So I don't know, man. This is why I went to Final Fantasy because the people over there are so much nicer. So I don't know. It's not going to be nostalgic for me. I feel like any like vanilla MMOs are going to require a lot of your time. And I feel like where I am in my life right now, I just don't have the time for it.
Well,
I feel like World of Warcraft is basically the same as Final Fantasy 11, which I played like 7 years of. And if even 11 was to go back to vanilla days, I would not be able to tackle it. As much as I want to, I will not be able to just because of time, essentially, and just what we're doing in our lives now. So because of that, I'm probably going to have to pass on it and just live through you guys.
Yeah,
if that
fair.
makes sense.
Well, I mean, honestly, I joked about getting the 8 people together for Final Fantasy 14, but I'm also one of those problem people because my schedule changes so much.
Yeah.
I can't even make an 8-person thing work for Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with my time on Classic, but that's not why we're here today talking about what we're going to do with Classic. It has to come out and we all got to see how it's going to play.
Yeah.
And she
Honestly,
notoriously only played WoW Classic to get a mount, got it, and quit.
Actually, I never got that mount. It was that
kept telling me you did.
it was that bluebird. That it was like super. It was from. It was coming. It was basically
from the
baby.
5-man Sethek Halls.
Yes.
The Raven Lord.
There you go, Raven Lord.
that.
Thank
Oh,
you.
no, I'm talking your
It
very
was-
first time. You said you got the tiger mount and quit.
No, I never even got to the mount, Ben.
Oh, she lied to
I
me
was-
when I met
I
her.
know.
How dare you lie to me 11 years ago when I met you?
You don't remember, dude. I told you I did not. I had this really bad experience with a couple of people, and I was like, screw this. I'm going to 11, and then I never looked back. That's it. That's my experience.
The funny thing, though, I just want to quickly throw this in here because the mount thing, it reminded me, and this is a big nostalgia portion for me with WoW Classic, was actually G4 TV.
I remember them.
And there was an episode when they were covering this guy that was able to get exalted with Darnassus as a gnome to get the Swift Sabers from them, and it was like the biggest deal. And it was, and like you could also do the like get a pet chicken by clucking at a chicken until it looked at you quizzically, and then it gave you an egg, and it was
That's
probably
awesome,
one of the
man.
coolest things ever. And
Damn.
I love that. Let's do a list.
Okay, so the list is the reasons why it might fail or might not. Nostalgia.
Yep.
Nostalgia or roasted in glasses argument has gotten really out of control over the past few years, not just with WoW or gaming, but in general. And it's true. We're
Yep.
getting remakes in movies.
Yep.
We're getting, 5 different Disney movies remade on live action this year?
We get more remakes than we get new stuff.
Yeah, and it's becoming more and more, it's becoming worse and worse because those things keep selling.
Yeah.
Without fail, if you tell people that you love a piece of entertainment from when you were young, at some point you're going to be told it's just nostalgia. Only that you only like it because it brings back memories of how life used to be.
Yep.
They're saying why that won't happen. Honestly, so what? Why can't we just? Why can't something be great in its own and nostalgic at the same time? The fact that people have a nostalgic attachment to the game should only be a factor when figuring out how successful the game is going to be at launch, or something that everyone agrees on is that it's going to be huge at launch week. The main concern for a lot of people is that when the game comes out, its longevity. Good news, old school WoW to this day is still highly regarded as the most addictive PC game of all time. How can you doubt that? Using the argument of nostalgia, I don't. The problem with that is, and I've said this before, I feel like people are going to start the game up. It's going to have a huge influx, and then it's going to lose half those people because those were the nostalgia people. My question with the WoW Classic is how many people are going to stay after. Like I'm not even saying the first month or two.
Right.
I'm saying once people get to 60, do the whole leveling experience, that would just at the time probably one of the more addicting aspects of it, and they start having to do 60-man raids, and they start having to do reputation grinds. They were in the original, weren't they? I think a couple were.
Reputation?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember if they came in with Burning Legion or not.
No. Burning Crusade.
Crusade.
No, they were always there because the biggest, hardest one to do was the Winter Spring Frost Saber.
Yeah. Well, I
Which
thought the
was a
Buccaneer hat was
very,
really rough because the Buccaneer hat didn't even give you anything.
Yeah, the Buccaneer one was also hard
I
because
did
you
that.
had to. I did that too. I did it before they did the reset of the reputation, so I got the Bloodsail Admiral title. It's no big deal. But no, that one was just a tricky one because you had to actually fight. You had to make yourself hostile towards the different goblin towns by killing everyone there.
Yep.
And you would just continuously kill the NPCs, and you would get reputation with the pirates, and it was awesome. But
How do you sleep at night, Dan?
I know, right?
Jesus.
But the thing that the nostalgia for a positive side, because I mean this only actually I just thought of just now with the ammo, with the hunter ammo, is I'm sure that it also. Some people might go, crap, I don't want to have ammo again. Like, I don't want to do that. But then I'm sure there are also going to be the people that enjoy that more role-playing aspect of, I'm a hunter. I want to have to feed my pet. I want to have to get ammo and upgrade my ammo because this arrow's not as strong as this arrow. This bullet doesn't belong for a bow. That does not make any sense.
Right.
Like, there are stuff like that, as well as Personally, I'm wondering how many things I'm going to go back through and think, this was annoying to me back then because I didn't understand it fully.
Yeah.
And now I'm going back going, I've had all this experience in different MMOs, in WoW, all of that, and going, now I can use it properly as a cooldown to use it in this certain instance, like the different rogue poisons, how they last for a certain number of charges and a certain duration. And back then I was just like, well, why can't I spawn in Warsong Gulch, put them on, and run across and do the whole thing and have them still there? Whereas now I might go back and be like, this is going to be great. I'm stealthed behind this person. I'm going to put them on and annihilate that.
Yeah.
person.
Speaking of the hunter thing,
I'm gonna swear. Don't worry.
it's funny because I like the fact we don't do ammo now. But one of the reasons why I officially kind of stopped playing my hunter and a part of leaving WoW was how simple they made the pets.
Exactly.
The pets got so simple that it was just like you collect them now. Like I remember back when I used to collect pets because they were improvements.
Yeah.
You'd want the rare skin, but that's cool. But I want to use this one because it's more powerful.
Or it had a certain move, and
Yeah.
you had to get this specific one from this location that was like the rare one. And
Yep.
when you got it, you would be like, yeah,
I remember hunting.
what I
them-
got.
For
I remember
that,
hunting
yeah.
them the rare pets during Wrath of the Lich King.
that was
Like the
actually
super
the
ghost
first
pets
one.
and
The
things like
spectral
that.
ones, yeah.
Yeah. That- But no, just to that point, yeah. I don't want ammo, but give me the pets back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, I was maining hunter as well when I played WoW, so I liked the more complex style that hunter had back in the day. But then afterwards, I kind of just switched to, I think it was paladin, because they made it too simple. So I was
Paladin has always been known as the face roll class.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, because it's literally just press the glowing button.
I mean,
Start with one.
I was
see
a-
what starts sparkling.
It's
Yeah.
like playing Bard on 14 right now.
Yeah.
yeah,
I press one and
or
oh,
Dancer,
Or
or-
Dancer,
yeah.
yeah.
So I was a hunter, but then I switched to paladin, a holy paladin, because then we were a team for PvP.
No,
so-
you were protection. I was holy.
right.
So when I was
Right,
fun
'cause I
story
didn't
about
want-
You
WoW.
Yeah.
were a Paladuo?
Yeah. Well, so
Yes.
fun story about
We
WoW.
would never die.
When I was overseas, was it Afghanistan?
Yes.
We couldn't play 14 together at the time, and we were still going through a lot of things anyway, and we couldn't play other games we wanted to play. But WoW worked while I was in Afghanistan, so we would play WoW. But she wanted to play Paladin, and I wanted to play Paladin, and we wanted to play Arena. So what we did is we did Arena duos. But the way we would do it is I was holy, she was protection. No one could kill us, but we had, I forget what it was, but it was like an enchantment on her sword that it could potentially proc an insane amount of damage. So literally we would just stall until that procced and she would just drop people because they weren't expecting it.
Yeah, it was
It
the
was-
original Judgments.
Yeah.
It was
The
great.
original Judgments, and I'm going to say this right now, I hated you two.
We went
Because
matches, we'd just be
those-
jumping around for 20
Maybe we
minutes.
Those
ran
would
into each
always
other.
be the actual ones that made me not want to do PvP when it was the people that it was just like, you guys are just assholes. Like, this is just
maybe-
no.
Maybe it was that one gnome that we just kept dropping.
We had
You
a lot
never
of
know.
fun
I
there.
always play gnomes.
But I was always healing her, and they would always they couldn't beat her, so they would always chase me around, and she'd be running around. So once it procced though, because they were chasing me and
Dude.
weren't expecting it,
Did you-
she would drop one of them, and then now we're ganging up on you.
And I'm hoping, I will honestly say, I'm kind of hoping for some of the old broken mechanics, because there was another one like that Shamans had with a two-handed weapon with Storm Fury and Wind Fury, where you could, or Storm Strike and Wind Fury, and you could essentially get procs upon procs. Because you could literally, if you guys had been against the wrong person that procced properly, they could one-shot you.
Oh no, we
And
ran
it
into
was
those, yeah.
always...
We didn't win every
It's always
match.
great.
Just
No,
a
not every
there was,
match, yeah.
And we won a good chunk of them. We did lose some,
You
but
probably timed out people.
we timed out a lot of people, or people would get frustrated and leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. But usually I
Because
think,
if she wouldn't proc, it'd be like 20 minutes. Is it proc yet? Nope. They can't kill us.
yeah, it was pretty funny, man. I was wondering if you actually played Ion, because the smallest characters, people would make the smallest characters because it was so hard to target them.
That's why I
Is that
started
why?
off as a gnome.
That's why?
Honestly, that was the original reason why I chose a gnome, was because I was like, in PvP, they're not going to be able to see me or
Yeah,
click
there
on
you
me.
go.
It's going to
There
be
you
great.
go. Yeah.
Is that why you're a Lalafell now?
That is why I'm a Lalafell.
But you
That's
never
why
play
I'm literally
PvP.
every single small character and everything.
You don't
Okay,
play
well,
PvP
mo-
on 14 though.
PvP in 14 is not that great.
No, it isn't.
It doesn't really even feel like PvP.
No,
it
not
really just
really.
feels like,
It-
all right, I have nothing else to do.
Final Fantasy's never been a good series to even play PvP in. 11 was lagging, 14's lagging. It's just a good MMO for PvE. That's it.
Yeah.
But World of Warcraft did it really well.
Yeah, no, they always did their
Yeah.
PvP really well. Okay, so number 4, apathy. If WoW was the first MMO, and it was for many, people are generally in awe that they could or wave at someone and see them wave back. Well, that's over. Nobody's going to be impressed by a virtual world with thousands of people in 2019, right? Wrong. Because what is the best part about waving to that orc was seeing him a week later leveling in the same zone you were. How often do you encounter the same people day to day while playing BFA? Well, it used to happen all the time. Before Cross-Realm, back when players were regulated to their own servers, each one felt like its own society within the greater World of Warcraft community. Best analogy here would be having your own high school or neighborhood. After a few months of playing Classic, running into people you know or recognize will happen constantly. This brings a rich social experience to the game that is currently lacking in modern MMOs, and I would 100% agree with this.
Yeah.
Because I feel the beginning of the end for what was MMOs back in the day was the ability to transfer servers.
It was the removal of community.
It wasn't even the removal of community.
The removal of wanting to be in a community because
Right.
you didn't need to.
Yeah.
It removed the community, which I felt was one of the strongest things that I loved about classic MMOs.
Oh, yeah.
But it also, in my opinion, removed ramifications for your actions.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a crappy player who was, I don't mean crappy as in skill, I mean crappy as in like you're a crappy person.
Yeah.
And you're just starting problems, that reputation goes.
Yes.
Yep.
And then you've ruined your reputation in this world, and being a crappy person meant you weren't going to be brought to anything.
Yeah. Or on the complete opposite, if you were a great player, you had a great reputation, and I had like just a short period of time. I was known for I can't even remember
Probably
what it was
healing.
at the time.
Healing
I
good.
think it was probably healing.
Yeah.
And it was one of those feelings where you're like, people acknowledge, people
Yeah.
go, oh my gosh, we got that guy.
Yeah. And I miss that.
Yeah, exactly. Like you miss it because it's a nice feeling. It's
It
a
is.
nice feeling, and it encourages you to be better.
It does, because that reputation spreads.
Yeah.
And it also encourages you to be nice to people, which you don't have to do now because you queue in and you're in a giant data server of billions of people at
And
this
you can
point.
change your name whenever you
You
want.
can change your name whenever
Yeah.
you want. Another thing you couldn't do back in the day.
Yep.
I mean,
To contribute to that discussion, I can't talk about World of Warcraft, but with Final Fantasy XI, it was very similar because we would transfer servers, and we were asking people to be recruited to their link shells, and they would legit go to forums and ask about our
Yeah.
name, our character name,
Yeah.
and people would just respond with like a whole history of what we've done and what we haven't done,
Right.
and yeah,
This
that's
one time they took the weapons. They said all weapons are hunter weapons.
basically. No, I know that Ben was really well known for just being a really good leader on
Right.
Final Fantasy XI. So whenever people would see Legend, oh yeah, he's a cool guy and stuff
Right.
like that. Yeah,
it was
it's-
back in the days when every night was just, we're playing 11. There's nothing else to life, guys.
he was very popular back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 3 is grinding. Admittedly, this is probably one of the only common and legitimate arguments against classic. People don't consider it the norm anymore. Spending months leveling to hit level cap, it might be tedious to people who just want to slay the biggest, baddest dragon in Azeroth, all within a few weeks of logging on. It's true. If you value complex boss mechanics, fast-paced combat with a bunch of buttons to press over immersion, and deep sense of community, this game simply isn't for you. But why that doesn't matter. Even though there are a lot of people turned off by the idea of certain things like taking longer to accomplish, there's also people who have been waiting years for an experience like this.
Yeah.
And then it goes in explaining how old school MMOs were grindy in nature.
Yeah.
I have openly said, after all the games we played, I prefer the long grind progression games.
Yeah.
I prefer games that 2 years down the road, it's like, look what I've accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like we played all that time in Overwatch, for example, which was jump in, jump out. And since they reset the stuff every season, there's no record of anything I've done or how good I was or anything really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MMOs, it's different. Like, I was here for that event 3 years ago. Look what I've done. I grinded up all these jobs
Yeah.
in Final Fantasy, or leveled a character in WoW, or things like that.
Even in
I miss
14,
that.
even in 14, it doesn't matter anymore either because they just put everything on Mock Station, so you
Yeah.
can just buy it.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be a big thing that I think is actually going to make WoW Classic very successful.
Yeah.
Is the people that like having those unique things,
Yeah.
because it's not going to be like current World of Warcraft where everyone's got the Raven Lord mount because of the fact that you can farm it every single day.
Yes.
As opposed to needing to find a group to do it every
And
like
you were locked out for
exactly like there's stuff like that, and personally I want to go back and start doing that too, because
Yep.
in vanilla WoW, like things that we take for granted now, like getting your epic mount, which is the 100% movement speed in WoW, back then it
Was an accomplishment.
It was one hell of an accomplishment. You would see rogues that have leveled up their lock pickings standing in Ironforge going, I'll open your boxes, I just need money so I can get my epic mount.
Yeah.
And I would walk around and go, oh my God, you've got that. And I'd whisper people going, oh my God, congratulations on 60 and getting your epic mount. That was
I
amazing.
remember back in the earliest days of WoW, the mounts even meant something because there were so few of them.
Yeah.
So there was the racial mounts and the epic mount, and then like, whoa, you got the raid drop?
Yeah.
But now it's like, whoa, you got one of 10 raid drops or the cash shop?
Yeah. Oh, and you got this color. No, this color. No, this color. This color. This one.
Yeah.
This one. This one. And it's. Just,
I remember
there's too
back in the
many.
day, I farmed up the nether drakes
Oh my gosh.
just to have something.
Yes, in Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
That.
The nether drakes were the most annoying grind ever because you also had to share the space with other people. So it'd be like, I'm racing other people to get these eggs to turn them in. And the drake was the coolest thing ever. And I was really disappointed.
Taught me how to,
I taught you how to do
taught me
it.
how to do it. Yeah, it was a rush, man.
It was a lot of fun. And I was really disappointed because as the expansions went on and the mounts got better, I'd be like, look at my nether drake. Oh, he's really low res.
Right.
Don't look at my nether drake.
I remember when that happened because I actually, if you didn't play, the flying mounts that weren't were 60% movement speed, which was lower than your normal ground mount.
Yeah.
And actually, this is one of my most memorable moments from World of Warcraft Burning Crusade that was like a huge, huge thing for me was I flew around, I want to say it was Shadow Moon Valley. I think I could be getting the name wrong. Just doing herbalism. And I grinded 5,000 gold to get the epic flying mount. Then I grinded the nether drake. I did the really hard race to get the crop as well. But the thing that I remember most was my dad knew nothing about video games, but he always liked trying to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And I remembered showing him. I was like, Dad, come here. Look how slow I am. Okay, now look how fast I am. Now look at my dragon, Dad. And he was like, this is so cool. And it was just such a moment because it was truly an accomplishment. Because it was also before like buying gold
Yeah.
was like, oh, here's $1. Here's 6,000 gold.
Yeah.
Like it was a huge, huge thing. And it's still just a huge memory for me personally.
I think we're just contributing to the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one on here is basically stating that private servers, and they're basically stating private servers versus Blizzard doing private servers.
Yep.
I don't think any of us really have much to say in this because we didn't play the private servers.
I did.
Did you?
All the time.
Basically, what they're stating is that, yeah, you could play it for free, but stability was always a problem. Peace of mind, knowing whether your character was going to be around tomorrow was rough.
Correct. There
And
was
the
also,
fact that Blizzard controls it now, they have all the notes from back in 2004, which no one else had.
Exactly, and also the private servers, you always had the problem of you would go in and you'd be like, man, in WoW, like the legit, you would go, oh my god, they've got Thunder Fury. They've got Thunder Fury, the blessed blade of the Windseeker. Like, oh my gosh. Plus, I'm so excited for trade chat to just be spamming that again. So
Yeah.
excited. But like it was an actual big thing. But private servers, a lot of people would go in, be super excited, and they would get the weapon, and they're like, well, it wasn't as hard, so I've lost interest. It's not as special. And then
Right.
we go to another one, and I go to another one. And actually, I wish I had looked this up before. I'm very curious what the constant numbers of the Nostradamus server was, because that was the original classic private server that kind of sparked all of this,
Right.
because everyone played on it. It was legitimately vanilla WoW, and these guys were running it, and then Blizzard shut them down.
Yeah.
And it became like a big thing online, and everyone was like, oh my
And now
gosh,
you know
what's
why,
going on?
right?
And I'm pretty sure they actually hired some of the people that
Yeah,
were running
supposedly
that
they
server
did.
That's good.
to
Yeah.
do the new one. And so I'm curious what those numbers were to give us like a little bit of an idea of what might be going into this. Because clearly those people that were playing those servers are probably going to go into this.
Yeah.
So-
So last one on the list actually isn't a thing on the list. It's how to define its success. And what they're stating
Okay.
is that Blizzard wants to expand their classic lineup further. We can assume they believe that legacy servers were a success. We'll be able to check by the extensive coverage at BlizzCon on Classic. I think at a cover with 1 or 2 quick panels where they treat it the same way as their most popular games, such as Modern WoW, Hearthstone, and Overwatch. And how is the media and community going to be covering it? And so basically what they're stating is, if we see a lot of coverage, then it was a success.
Yeah.
If it kind of gets swept under the rug, it's over.
Right.
So
That's fair.
Oh, the best to it, man, because I know you're super excited. I know
I'm
everyone's
honestly,
excited.
the more I talk about it, I wasn't super excited until actually this morning. Yeah, this morning I went to create my character. I made like 3 because I had to lock a name on the server that they want to do, and
Yeah.
then I locked
I just
one.
picked a random one.
I
So
know,
I asked you if you had a lot of preference.
I know,
Jesus,
and
Ben.
but they're going Horde, and I might be going Alliance.
Right.
Just because that's what I was back then.
Was it?
Plus, I love gnomes. They're the
But it was
smallest.
funny. So they announced the names are opened up to go ahead and lock them down. I hit up Kevin and Dan, who I expected to play with. At bare minimum, I thought it was going to be the two of them. And I'm like, so do we have a preference on server? Do we have a preference on side? And Kevin's like, don't care about server. A horde because I want to go shaman.
Yeah.
And Dan's like, well, I got to think about it. I have to consider this. I have to consider that. And so he did that for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, took too long. We're going here and we're horde.
It was not 30 minutes. I literally said that to him, and he responded with, well, Kevin wants horde for shaman, so
I
we're
am
going
sure.
ATS for that, so you can come or not.
I trust you.
That
you.
was the
You know, the way-
conversation. It was
I
not
would-
30 minutes. It was
It was
like
30
five,
minutes. It was 30.
like 5 minutes.
It was 30 minutes.
I want to look
Well,
it up.
it probably felt like
It
30
was really
minutes
quick
to you.
because I said it to him because I even said LOL. I said it to him in a joking way. You're taking too long. But seriously, we're gonna work it out. We have plenty of time.
Undead or nothing. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
I'm a
Undead.
moo cow warrior.
Are we
Or if you're
towards
going
the-
Alliance, Moonkin.
That's fair. The druids for that, yeah.
Yes.
Well, druids can be both, and moonkin regardless.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
I
balance.
like the color of Alliance better.
That is fair. That is very fair.
Blue versus red.
Yes.
That's all it is.
I know. Sorry.
But I feel like this is rounding down, so I want to kind of note off of a funny story about the undead or nothing comment. So when I first started playing, I wanted to play a priest. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a horde character priest. I'm going to make an undead priest. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, no,
It's going to
Dan.
be super, super cool. And I got it, and I got the ability Power Word Shield, and I used it on myself.
Oh,
And
no,
you get
Dan.
the debuff Weakened Soul, which is a proper debuff that's essentially just so you can't continuously use it on yourself. My thought was, oh crap, I'm undead. This is going to weaken my soul because it's a holy ability. So I went and made a human one, and then that's actually how I ended up on Alliance because I was like, oh, that's a part of it. Well, I guess I'm stuck over here now. That was my little
That's actually a pretty cool story on how you became Alliance. It's,
Right.
Yeah. Nice.
I just always was horde. I always like the ugly characters.
That's fair.
And I will say, you know, my complaint and why I always end up being a girl is because most of the games nowadays like to do the catered women outfits, and then the guy's like, and here's the tuxedo. WoW never cared. The dudes looked fine in their bulky armor.
If you want to see, because I think they kept the original. If you want to see a character design for a female that is not supposed to be sexy in any way, go look up the original troll females.
Oh no, I think if I looked at it, it
pretty
did
sure-
look bad.
It's slightly improved, but if you go back and look at the originals, those were some of the most atrocious models ever. And it worked because they looked like trolls.
Right.
And it was just, what are you looking it up right now?
Yeah. That one, the
Oh,
original.
God.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's actually what they've got. They've just have it slightly tweaked.
Right,
but
right.
It truly gave the feel of this is a troll
they
female.
look beautiful
not a,
now, dude.
Yeah, now they're like, I'm a supermodel that's blue.
That's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, that's insane, man.
So anyway,
That's crazy.
hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. What are you guys gonna do? You're gonna play WoW Classic? You're gonna go do your server? Are you excited? You don't care? Let us know in the comments down below. You can find Dan at his Twitch stream, Dan T Streamer. Natalie's at Zodical Candy, but she might be changing it soon, and the link will be down below. And you can find me doing games Friday, Saturday, Sunday over at Eligible Monster. Thank you guys. We'll see
Thank you.
We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.